Welcome to another SmartWAP learning video. SmartWAP is the clever, simple and fast construction program for carpentry and joinery from Tibix CNC Technique. In this video, you'll see how to construct a somewhat more complex piece of furniture using SmartWAP, namely a built-in wardrobe for a wall niche with a sloped roof. First, take a look at the situation on site. And this is how the finished built-in wardrobe should look. Let's get started. As usual, first draw a basic volume on the base area and give it a meaningful name, for example, built-in wardrobe. The measurements on site resulted in a niche with a width of 1,500, a height of 2,600, and a depth of 620 millimeters. What's still missing is the measurement of the roof slope. To do this, draw a slanted partition into the volume. Set the left position to the knee wall measurement of 1,250 millimeters and confirm the entry. Then determine the exterior dimensions of the carcass, taking into account the required installation clearance. In depth, give the construction 20 millimeters of clearance from the wall by using a frontal partition with a rear distance of 20 millimeters. On the right and left, an approximately 45 millimeter wide filler strip should form the wall connection. To do this, draw a vertical partition to the right and left side and offset both 45 millimeters inward. Create space for a separately adjustable 70 millimeter high base with a doubled decorative panel using a horizontal partition that you raise to 70 millimeters. As the first component, draw a slanted plate as the lid into the volume. To ensure that the slanted lid gets the same installation clearance as the two outer sides, set the safety distance to 45 millimeters. This sets the lid exactly 45 millimeters parallel to the room slope. Next, install the two outer sides and the base. Then, a continuous back wall and two upright central sides. To make the structure of the cabinet easier to follow, turn off show separators either by clicking or by pressing the S key as in Siegfried. The internal division of the cabinet construction is planned as follows. The right carcass field should receive a fixed construction floor. A clear height of 1,550 millimeters is planned here so that a clothes rod can be installed underneath. Above that, there should be a shelf raised to binder height 335 millimeters, angehoben wird. The middle field should also receive a fixed intermediate floor with a clear height of 930 millimeters. Above that, two shelves are planned with the lower one again set at binder height. In the lower area, a total of 5 wooden drawers are desired. 4 crossbars are needed for this. Draw a horizontal crossbar into the carcass and place it 250 millimeters from the bottom. Insert a crossbar in the upper area with a clear distance of 120 millimeters. Then draw 2 more crossbars into the remaining space. The left cabinet section should have the same intermediate shelf at 930 millimeters as the middle section, plus 2 lower shelves divided equally in height. Switch to Edit mode to connect the cabinet elements. Now draw rows of holes into the carcass fields that should receive shelves. Start with the lower left carcass field, where continuous rows of holes are planned. Adjust the rows of holes in the sloped area to the individual shelves. Open the template option Island Drilling and activate the Connect with Shelves function. Subsequently, draw the rows of holes onto the shelves. For the corner connections, select Connector/Dowel and then mark the necessary connection points for the crossbars. Then click on the drill machine icon to execute the function. Now determine all connection points and repeat the function to be executed. You will need angle connectors for the slanted lid. Select angle connectors and reassign the editing. Only the remaining connections will be equipped with angle connectors. Switch to Elements and pull four-sided fitting panels onto the outer sides of the construction. By double-clicking on one panel, all four are selected at once. Set the position value in the template to -19 to place the panels flush at the front. The finishing strips should rest 2 mm on the carcass edges. So enter the resulting value of 17 mm for the distance to the plate. Determine the base panel individually and increase the panel width to a total of 72 mm. Set the left and right corners to continuous so the panel can be adjusted to the existing baseboards on site. Now assign the necessary overlay doors and drawer fronts. Now switch to the fittings. Select the available 110-degree hinges and attach them to the left door element. For the remaining doors, select fully available 165-degree hinges and assign them to the respective doors. To arrange the cup hinges, adjust the position measurements. Set the top hinge to 170 mm and the bottom hinge to 130 mm. Increase the number of hinges on the large door to a total of 4. Now you can select suitable drawer slides and assign them to the respective positions. In addition, every door and drawer front should be fitted with a bow handle. Turn off transparency to make the placement of the handles on the underlying material clearer. Switch to favorites and pull the predetermined furniture handles onto the respective components. The handle of the long door should be positioned at the same height as the opposite handle. Copy the absolute position value of the left door, change the vertical alignment from center to base, and assign the value. To place the handles horizontally on the drawers, change the handle arrangement angle to 0 degrees. Increase the handle arrangement by 50 mm for the drawer with the slanted front panel. Since the built-in cabinet is still in its raw state both inside and outside, the material still needs to be determined. Switch to material mode and first draw a selection frame around the entire construction. Now you can select a material, for example, sand gray. After assigning the material to the relevant edges and surfaces, confirm the inputs. Now mark all carcass edges that are not completely covered by the overlaying front panels, forming a visible shadow gap. Assign the material ocean to them. Next, select all front panels, mark the edges and surfaces, and choose the material sage for this selection. Now select all fitting panels, determine the edges and surfaces to be worked on, and then choose the desired material. In this case, rosewood. Then confirm the selection. This completes the cabinet carcass. What is still missing are the base and the wooden drawers. Click to deactivate transparency to enter construction mode and activate the show separators function. Since a separate base is often used but shouldn't be created anew for each construction, it's sensible to create a component once and store it for further use. That has already been done in this case. Switch to the gallery to access the component for the base construction now. Select components from the menu and open the relevant subfolder, in this case the folder labeled base, and drag the base construction with 2 struts into the lower volume. As a component, the base construction automatically adjusts to the entire contents of the volume. Now all that's missing are the wooden drawers. Luckily there are already prefabricated drawers stored as components here. Simply switch to the gallery, select components, and open the relevant subfolder. In this case, the folder labeled drawers. Currently, there are 2 different height versions of wooden drawers available here. Simply drag the smaller drawer component into the designated cabinet spaces, and then the larger drawer component into the lower and left upper cabinet spaces. You see, all the drawer components have automatically adapted to the various cabinet volumes on all sides. And that's it. Your built-in cabinet for a wall niche with a sloping roof is complete. Now the construction just needs to be saved. Use the Save As command in the File menu as usual. You can choose an existing folder or create a new one. To work with the material list, you first need to export it using the Export Material List command in the Export submenu of the File menu. If your computer has a program installed that is configured to display Microsoft Excel files, the material list will automatically open with that program. You can now edit it and, most importantly, print it. Using the File, Export, Export All to Machine command, export and save the programs for your CNC Woodworking Center. Create a new folder in the main directory and name it accordingly. You can then select the new folder in the gallery. At this point, all the exported CNC programs of the current project will be displayed. You can now pass the data to production, and all parts for your construction can be manufactured. Once again, you've seen how easy working with SmartOp can be. If this construction has worked well for you, feel free to try your own designs and experiment a bit. If any questions arise, you can find the answers in the support section at smartop.de. We wish you lots of fun and success with SmartOp.